Hi folks, welcome to G4G on YouTube. Today we are in Marvel Future Fight to discuss the new updates that occurred to this particular game. They were really big. A lot of things have changed. And there is some mixed emotions on how good or bad they are, but for the most part, everything seems really good. And if people are breaking down the pros and cons, they're basically saying 7 good things to about 2 to 3 bad things, tops. So, as we can see here, we have a week-long check-in event that you want to go ahead and make sure you log in daily. And a lot of these biometrics that we're getting are for the characters that have new suits or are just relatively new, like Moon Knight. Yondu, Ronin, Iron Fist all have new suits, as does Mockingbird and Malekith. So here we see 30 biometrics for Yondu. Hyperion is a brand new character. There is Iron Fist, and also the daily missions for your crystals have changed. So for right now, I'm going to cancel this because I want to see who I want to devote this to. I had been devoting my biometrics towards Hulkbuster to go ahead and finally get him 6-starred. So I'm really beginning to get my higher level heroes capped out as much as possible. I have my Lady Loki, which is basically considered the god of Marvel Future Fight right now, or the goddess, depending upon how you're looking at it. He, she of the green scale mail over here is an absolute monster. This hero, we'll leave it at that, so we don't get gender fluidity confusion here or anything like that. This hero is just an absolute beast. One of the groups that I'm in, the Adamantium Process, has really been recommending and harping on Lady Loki to several people. Every time I look in the group, it's all about Lady Loki, Lady Loki. So I just kind of took the unsung advice that was being presented over there and capped Loki out, and I'm working on the mastery and everything, and Loki's skills in this uniform are an absolute beast. The ability to clone Loki and make mirror images of Loki out there and then just do tremendous damage with all the spells. Yeah, just a absolute beast of a hero. And in PvP, there have been several times where I have taken on people that I would consider higher than me, and I've won just because Lady Loki melts. Absolutely melts people when Loki's in combat. And I'm trying to get up there and trying to get my people over to 50 as best as I possibly can over here. I do need to work on my blasters. Blaster day for Alliance battles is really, really bad for me, because this Iron Man kind of got abandoned. Iron Man and Captain America and my Hulkbuster, along with Agent 13, had pretty much been my primary heroes the whole way through, but unfortunately Iron Man kind of just dipped for me. So my primary team is this: Lady Loki, Hulkbuster, and Ultron. Proud that Ultron is my first 50. And yeah, that's where my heroes stand now. So let's go ahead and get into the new changes over here. So it looks like my daily subscription is coming due fairly soon, so I'm going to need to renew that fairly quickly. So let's take a look at what we've got. Continuing to take a look at the changes here in the game. So we have a registration event going on. This is for the Thunderbolts program. Pro registration, anti-registration. Anti was winning when I logged in and picked it, but that's what I would have gone with anyway. So let's take a look at the teams that I currently have. I have my main team over here and my PvP team of Loki, Hulkbuster and Ultron. My Loki and Hulkbuster are 6 stars. Ultron's 5, but as you can see, he's getting there. Very, very easy to farm for his. You could get about 15 a day if you wanted it. On my team, but no longer on my main team, was Agent 13, Captain America, and Iron Man. She was here to deal with all the blasters I would run into in PvP, but Loki is just, no pun intended, universally doing that. Also high up for me is my Elsa. I really, really like Elsa's abilities in combat. She's able to get out of a lot of danger while dealing a lot of damage. Captain Marvel and Drax are fairly high for me, but have never really been featured on any PvP teams. I'm not really too sure when my Green Goblin snuck up there in level, but he did. Also new is Moon Knight. I happen to really like Elektra. Also new is Crossbones. Really like Singularity. More on Iron Fist and Ronin in a little bit. As far as I know, I think from what I understand based on the group that I'm in, I think I'm supposed to be getting this Blast Kingpin up really high level and geared out. Not really too sure of that, so if anybody has some comments on that, definitely let me know. I really like this Angela. I like watching her in combat. I like the outfit. I like the glaive. I generally like her abilities. Let me know if anybody else really likes that Angela. Destroyer seems to be a fairly popular favorite, although I don't know if I'm supposed to be leveling him or not. New Winter Soldier outfit, but not brand new. Kamala, I've never had a whole lot of interest in her. Alt for Gamora in one of the most recent rounds. Silk is another one that I think I'm supposed to really level and get up quick. I think from what I understand, I'm doing a disservice of having my Silk this low. That's another one I'm looking for confirmation on. And sadly, I missed a day or two in the Proxima login set, which means I don't have her, and I think that is a catastrophic issue for me. There's another one of my high-powered teams. Another high-powered team, and this is my leveling team currently, the brand new Hyperion and Silk, anchored by Ultron. He has Soaring Uppercut, Physical, Heat Blast, Physical, Sun God, Solar Power, Solar Flare, Atomic Vision, tiered for Sunspark, Cosmic Fusion. If anybody can explain how to tier a hero, definitely let me know about that. That's a relatively new mechanic for me that I'm not that quite familiar with. I see tier packages on sale and everything all the time. I just really am not too sure how to proceed with it. To get Hyperion, you need to have the monthly ISO, or the monthly biometrics subscription. And it's not that expensive. I don't mind paying for that one, and I don't mind paying for the Tony Stark stash either. I tend to get those every single month. Challenges have changed a bit. There are some things you want to know about this. We're doing 6 for 25. Story missions gone down from 5 to 1. Daily was 1, is 1. Timeline went down from 5 to 1. Special mission now takes the place of enhancing your hero's ISOs, and you only have to do 1 for that. Villain Siege is 1. Sending assemble points is 1. We've always had that. Timeline is now 50, which I think is higher than it used to be. We have a special of 25. We have complete 50 stories, 10 wins, 10 ISO enhancements. So ISO enhancement is still on the table, and it's a lot of money, along with the timeline battle. So it seems like they drop things out of the mandatory dailies, but then give you really good rewards for them in the week. So you're definitely going to still want to do this. The thing is, at least you can do it at your own leisure. Let's take a look at the new suits we have. And as you can tell, I mean, the UI has changed a lot. It's nicer, it's classier. I happen to really enjoy it, and on high graphics capability tablets and everything, it's just a pretty game. Contest of Champions on high graphic tablets is also another one that looks really pretty. I tend to do it on a Samsung Galaxy Tab 4 and a Sony Xperia Z. This one I don't play on the Z that much, but Contest of Champions and this all tend to get a lot of play on a Samsung Galaxy Tab 4. It's an 8-inch. The reason why I play it a lot over there, it's that tablet has an IR blaster on it, which is capable of being a remote. So I have that set up near my TV, and a lot of times if I'm watching a movie or chilling out, I do my dailies in several of the Marvel games at the same time. So it works out pretty well for that. For this video, of course, I'm doing it here on Nox on my PC. This is Android emulation on my PC. This, man, did they not capture Scarlett Johansson's frown face perfectly for this suit? Holy cow. If they didn't model it directly after Scarlett, they got that spot on as compared to any one of these others. I mean, just so much like her, and that's her kind of like scowly, pissed off face. I like it. So the suit builds upon Black Widow's other suit. So there's her stock, which is what I have. And then she got her first bump for Age of Ultron, and they added some abilities and the 10%. Then Secret War is further built on the previous suit, and now this one builds on the other suits but changes Widow's bite. Instead of having the range, it changes it to a paralysis. So if you have this one or the stock and you do play Black Widow, clearly you should update, especially while it's on sale. If you had $20.99, maybe you don't want to spend crystals again on her. But I think a paralysis is better than a range, but I don't use her enough to really pass full judgment on that. Malekith, like Yondu, gets a first alternate suit. You get the 10% and you have a hit point recovery available at any time. So he could be at 90%, he could be at 10%, he may get his hit point recovery. I'm not familiar with this look to him, but it's apparently part of the all new, all different. This looks like Captain Marvel at first, but it's not. It's a new alternate from Mockingbird. Don't like the sunglasses, don't like what got done to her staff, but the rest of it's pretty cool. It's as a nod to her classic setup over here. I have this version of it, the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. version, so I'm not going to be spending on this. And there's her original with the dots and her tactical glasses. Yondu gets an alt, as we mentioned. He gets a skill cooltime reduction. Some people have said they like it, but it mostly seems to be for the stat increase. I have a couple of people going, fucking why? It's Yondu. He's not really that good in the game. This one I'm not tempted to spend on. The only of the other remaining ones that I might would be Malekith for the updates, Widow for the updates, not spending on Mockingbird, not spending on Yondu. Now for the ones that I definitely have already gotten. I picked up the one for Ronin. His hammer looks smaller in the shaft. The head of it looks a little bit bigger. He gets the stat increase, and he gets a stun effect to his first ability, and that's kind of why I did it. I thought the stun might be pretty handy. I mean, it's just classic. Ronin's face is a little bit bigger than his movie suit, so that's the movie one, which bears no real resemblance to regular Ronin. And I also picked up the Iron Fist one. Now, Iron Fist is another one that has had an alternate prior, so there's his classic, there's his alternate. They call it the New Avengers. Some of us call it Heroic Age Iron Fist, or HAIF, from Marvel Avengers Alliance 1. I picked up this suit because it's got a pretty good passive of a hit point recovery and an invincibility, but his hit points have to be low. And why I picked it up is it's the inverse of the Bruce Lee outfit from one of the movies he was in. He had the gold and black trimmed tracksuit, and this is an inverse of it. I really like it. I kind of think the collar could stand to go away on this. Collar's a little bit big, but you know, other than that, just an awesome looking suit, and that's a really good passive. But Iron Fist isn't somebody that I use that often. So here's all of the alts throughout time. I've got a Maestro, I've got Lady America, I've got Ronin Iron Man, couple that I didn't really touch. Got that one from Black Cat. Didn't get Black Suit or any of these others. Didn't get Thor Groot. Do have the one for Gamora, Ultron, Lady Loki, which I think pretty much is a given. I think everybody is supposed to get this suit, from what I understand. Green Goblin, Spydock, Drax, Bobby, Captain Marvel, Pepsi, Vision, Winter Soldier, Skip Falcon. Didn't do the Luke Cage one. Picked up Iron Fist today. Didn't do Star-Lord, Black Bolt. Did get that one for Angela. Did get that one for for regular Venom. Did get this one for Kingpin, which I think I'm really supposed to work on that guy. Didn't do Bullseye. Did that for Ant-Man. Didn't do the new movie one. Giant Man, Skip Nico, She-Hulk, Quake. Hate that one for Quake. Deathlock. Did get Lash and did get Elsa. I really, really like Elsa. So a couple of other things that have changed. The daily has a cap of 2 per mission level, and you get a reward at 6. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you really only have to be 30 to compete for these, so that's pretty good. Villain Siege has changed drastically, and this is one of the only things that I'm very, very upset about. It used to be like 1 through 10 or 12, and I could get 5 or 6 of these out of the way, even though I only needed 1 for the daily. I routinely farmed these. Now I can only do the one easy, which is a 27, but it's such a huge gap. I mean, this one is 57. What's going to happen to the poor 40 people? They're only going to have 1 Villain Siege accessible to them. And then that's it. I mean, a 40, a low 50, how are they going to compete with this? And I mean, a 40 to a 50 had a good chunk that they could do every single day. And now it's just way too restrictive. And I'm hearing some people comment on that. They're happy with the accessibility for gold and earning gold. They're kind of not that thrilled about some of the other resources in the game right now. Specials. These can all be done, and these have a cap of 2 a day. So if I wanted to farm for Drax, I can do 2 of these a day. But then again, you can always work your way down. Start at a high one, work your way down through the list if you're going for Drax or Nebula. Here for Ant-Man. Got all of these unlocked. It does say 0 there, but that's not in fact true. I've done all of these. Except for, the 6-mans and I think some of the 50s. So the fact that this is now part of a daily is actually pretty good because it draws you over here to do stuff that maybe you weren't necessarily doing every single day. Pretty much daily for me is I did multiple stories, especially if I'm farming for somebody. I would try to farm them out like, let's say, Ultron. There's 3 of those. I would definitely do all 5, 5 times the 3 for that. PvP, I tended to hit my daily and stop. Villain Siege, I did as many as my levels allowed. My daily, I only did 1 daily. I did my alliance battles. I did dimension rifts sometimes if they had good rewards and everything. I think I really need to do more of those, because my special items is getting really low. I think I need to build those back up. Just hate the face on this one. We got a buy one, get one crystal event going on. Hyperion, you have to get the subscription for that. And the current boss clear effect is 10% energy. And of course, all your points go into who you pick for this quote-unquote civil war that's going on. And this tells you your clear points. Alliance battles give you a whopping 50. World bosses are very good. And then your next best ones are co-op. Villain Siege. Timeline battles is high. And dailies is also pretty high. So again, like Villain Siege, I would be generating a lot of 5s for this. Now I can only do 1. Kind of sucks. But, you know, at least we got Hyperion. What I would like to see Future Fight do is kind of step outside the comfort zone of the Marvel heroes and maybe grab some people that Marvel media and Marvel game-aware people aren't already seeing tons of. I mean, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, we're dealing with Ultron plenty. Marvel Heroes, he's a pet team up there. Deathlock, he's been in Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, and I think he's related to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, all of these are just like really common character or game or movie or media people. Or show people. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. I want to see them kind of take a risk on somebody that isn't already on the brain or on the tongue of people. Somebody that's a little risky. Somebody that isn't maybe tied to, say, like a brand new comic or something. The Guardians of the Galaxy villain's pretty cool. Again, catastrophic fuck up on that one. But I mean, people who play lots of Marvel stuff or Marvel aware, you know, we know about Red Hulk, Marvel Avengers Alliance 1, obviously the Spider-Man. Black Cat, okay, maybe not. Ant-Man, all the Ant-Man related ones, recent movie. Kamala Khan, popular in the comics now. Agent Coulson, movies, shows. Groot, movie. Doc Ock, okay, Doc Ock is a little bit more rare. Or not Doc Ock, MODOK, excuse me. I call him Doc Ock because he's called Spydoc. But, you know, tied to a lot of the other Marvel games. Jane Thor, recently popular. Angela, recently popular. Yeah, you have a throwback here to Venom. You've got some, but these are fairly well established. Maybe Amadeus Cho is only one of the few risky territories that they've gone in. And potentially Maestro Hulk. But for the most, I want to see them just get a little bit risky. Do somebody that's, I mean, Crossbones, latest movie. Nico is borderline for them because Nico actually has gone with the Runaways, which has had some mutant ties. But she's not called Nico here, she's called Sister Grimm. A lot of the rest of us, we know her as Nico. It's Nico Minoru. Singularity, I think, is, again, one of their riskier ones. But she's been in the game for a while. And I'm not exactly too sure what she comes from. She kind of reminds me of a slightly differently skinned Carolina Dean. Like, whereas Caroline is about light, she seems about darkness. But, I mean, Luke is everywhere, and the Heroes for Hire. Moon Knight is in a lot of places recently. In Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. In Marvel Heroes. Green Goblin recently added to Marvel Heroes. Obviously, all of the core Avengers are all recent. Elsa kind of got recently popular in Marvel Avengers Alliance 1. Agent 13, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2. PvP reward hero, and in the movies. Captain Marvel's, I don't know, I just kind of want to see them take a little bit of a risk on somebody. Get somebody new and fresh, edgy. Not necessarily hip. I don't want like a hipster related, like, oh, I like this one before it was cool. But just, I don't know. Maybe somebody that isn't overplayed everywhere else. Bullseye, okay, yeah, Bullseye's not particularly overplayed. Falcon, yeah. Not really familiar with when we got that run of like Werewolf and Lash and all those guys. I might be tied to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not exactly too sure. Destroyer's in a couple places. Oddly absent from Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, but I mean, Punisher, his popularity never seems to wane. I mean, I guess taking a risk on a hero not a lot of people are aware of could do them a disservice and may not generate attention. But hey, you know, Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 took a jump when it came to Thane. So, I don't know. I just like to see Future Fight be a little bit edgy, and this is one of the games that only deals with the MCU and not the mutants, so that already limits what we could do in the game. So that's it, guys. That's my video on the subject, the changes, the new uniforms, some of my teams and whatnot. If you have any comments, definitely let me know below. I'm really interested in hearing about universally acclaimed green speed heroes, blue blasters. My combats and my universals I think are pretty good, but tell me how to tier. Tell me about good speeds. Tell me about good blasters. Tell me if I'm missing any glaring uniforms here, or try to talk me into any of the new uniforms that are on sale that I didn't pick up. And if I had any heroes in my list, like, dude, that guy should not be 20. You need to get this guy level fast. He's awesome. Like, maybe my Kingpin or my Silk. You know, yeah, please, let me know. Help me get better in this game. Help me get to the level of my Marvel Avengers Alliance 1 kind of deal. Thanks, everybody, and have a good one.